pregame was saying, well, why wouldn't they just ban Thresh, new player, take away his best champion? That's kind of the logical thing to do. But at the same time, Cloud9 relies a lot on power picks, and if they can get 2 out of 3 because they know that Thresh is going to go to the other side, they'd be willing to do that.
See what kind of composition Cloud9 comes up with today. Lemon Nation's book is going to help
XDG bans Thresh.
Interesting.
What is going on here? That's not what's supposed to happen.
Got to put each other on tilt before you even get into the game. The Sivir being banned out, who's been used quite a bit lately in these compositions that just want to get into your face or even disengage. Good for both sides of the coin there.
Thresh has got it all. This is the 4.2 patch.
Yep.
So not the patch that is on live. And I
the
wonder
Evelyn ban coming out. I thought people said they might be seeing that.
Yeah,
Been talk of the Evelyn.
Xmithy has been playing a lot of Eve since he returned to the jungle. The first pick, Lulu, should be good for a mid lane pick.
Yep.
That's not one of Sheep's top 3 supports. And ManCloud tried his hand at it last week. Wasn't that good on it. We saw that missed Glitterlance in the highlight when he was trying to go for a kill on I'm a Cutie Pie. But another week under his belt, he should be pretty good on that. I really wonder here if Cloud9's going to prioritize a support pick right here. There is an interesting thing that happened last week when Lemon Nation had only played Thresh and Leona, and then there was a game where Thresh was banned and Leona was taken away, and he just played Annie, had a great game. Yeah. But even so, the fact that 13 of his 14 games have been played on only 2 supports, and they have the chance to lock down one of those 2 right now, and also deny a top pick from Sheep, could hold a lot of value.
May look to be getting something in the top lane. They've usually left Balls' pick for down the line because they know he's someone that can play safe, and no matter what goes up against him, he'll be ready for it. He said, Lemon Nation going to go with the Annie again, and Meteos pulls out his Lee Sin, which is going to be striking fear in the eyes of XDG.
Completely leaving the Leona open for XGG, almost daring them to do that. I actually like that decision by Cloud9 because I feel like Leona's a very one-dimensional champion and also doesn't play very well from behind. Cloud9's not planning on being behind at any point in this game, and they're probably going to look to punish that at some point. Likewise, the Lee Sin pick is something that Meteos had enormous success on. He's 4-0 thus far on Lee Sin, and he went away from it in recent weeks. Glad to see it back here.
Caitlyn being picked up by Zuna. Sivir and Caitlyn were really the factors, AD carries he's been playing lately. We've got to figure that the mechanics are still there, but is the positioning. He's going to be able to do the laning phase, but it gets a lot harder in the fighting phase. This is going to be back to old for them, but it hasn't been recent.
Yeah, this has a lot of story coming into this XTG game. Just exactly how they're going to adapt to the new roster. We were trying to prophesize what was going to happen for Zuna on AD carry. Yeah. Was he going to be on Caitlyn? I mean, he was 13-2 on Tristana last year if we combined his statistics together, but Tristana's just completely fallen out of favor. Him picking Caitlyn is more a 2014 season AD carry than Tristana is definitely, and it's his most played in solo queue recently. We'll see how that works out for him.
Gives him a safe lane. He usually did better on the long range kind of late game champions anyways. Whenever he played Vayne, he'd get himself into trouble early game. So we'll see what they do. Smithy looking for the Pantheon pickup.
Yeah, we just got to see Sheep as well, the new support of XGG. It would make sense if he were to pick Leona here, especially with the early game jungle presence that Xmithy could theoretically bring with Pantheon. It would fit right in to the 2013 season when XGG was successful. Very good early game ganking pressure from the jungle. A lot of powerful laners early on. We'll see if XGG can turn something around there. That's their picks.
Pretty interesting pickup from Sneaky here. He hasn't been back on Lucian since week 1. 2 plays there, and he has not gone back since. So it looks like he's going to give it a little favor here in this game. Our first one in week 7.
It's been a long while. I feel like maybe he's picking Lucian a little bit for the slow cleanse on his dash. Oftentimes, Lulu, if you were to play a slightly less mobile AD carry, if you get in range of an AP Lulu once she's got her Lich Bane, she lands one Glitter Lance on you and you die, because she'll chain the next one before you can escape. But if one Glitter Lance gets lands on Sneaky, he can just dash away, cleanse the slow, and run away. And of course, Sneaky plays pretty much everything. That's kind of what he's known for as an AD carry.
See what they decide. Very nice lock-in.
That mixes everything up.
Gragas will be going finally, and he's going to go down to the bottom lane. Really, Ball's going to pick that up in the top lane? It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, so here's the thing. A lot
Oh,
of
he keeps
European
LB,
teams
yeah.
in particular have been trying to play LeBlanc top lane. It's something we thought we were going to see a lot more of. However, every time we've seen it in the LCS, it is just lost terribly. You run a team without a tank line. You need to get fairly far ahead fairly quickly, otherwise you can get overpowered by the other team. And they can swap this either way, because Gragas has actually seen a little bit more success in the LCS. In the top lane, Inox has had some really solid games on it, and I think early on in the game, Gragas can maybe even out-trade Shyvana, but they can swap those either way. Now that we're within the 10-second mark, though, it will be LeBlanc mid, Gragas top. So something new for Balls. That's interesting.
If XDG can keep it kind of relentless and space out that initiation, I don't think just the Gragas barrel alone is going to keep XDG out of Cloud9's face. This is going to be an aggressive game.
Yeah, double AP with a Lee Sin.
Yeah.
There is so much just kind of get out and pick potential, trying to find people out of position. Yeah. And Cloud9 is a team that thrives on team fight communication. XGG is a team that has been falling behind and really lacking in that department.
Right.
This is a type of composition to try and pick off a disorganized team. We'll see if Cloud9 can do it.
Well, while they load onto the Rift, let's see who you all voted on to see who's going to win this game. According to LOL Esports, 92% of you think that Cloud9 is going to come out on top.
Not the biggest vote we've seen,
no,
but it's a big one. It makes sense if you compare the rosters, mirrors of each other, 11-3 versus 3-11. Huge disparity between these two teams, but still a bit of a rivalry. If you look at their all-time record, it's only 3-2.
Got to take into consideration XDG's momentum comes off of, you know, really big early game leads. And considering that, it means the game is almost easier for you as you go on. So if it becomes tough for them in the beginning, they seem to falter a lot more, and they can't seem to find their way out of that spot. See them setting up the line of scrimmage for some defense. Really, we only see EG lately being the team to do something funny at level 1.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how this XDG final shakeup has worked out. They need it to if they're hoping to make a move back at the later point in this season. Sheep in particular, I can't imagine that Zuna's been able to keep up on 80 carry practice. I think that's another reason they probably picked Caitlyn for him. Caitlyn is one of the safest 80 carries in the League of Legends.
Keeping that range.
Oh, where's the body slam? He hasn't skilled up anything yet. I wonder what he's going to start with on top lane Gragas. Oftentimes you actually see a top lane Gragas go W and E before it barrels even, because he's just trying to out-trade his opponent.
That's a great matchup, because he can just douse out the fire. Good to go.
Drink it down.
Yeah. Just roll out the barrel. Flame breath, no more. Seeing the consumable start here from high. Oh, hello, Sheep. This is not good. Looking to tear the coat right off of this one in the beginning of the matchup, and they kind of play it slow.
Yeah, well, Lemonation started with his Q instead of his stun, so he had no charged up stun on Annie. Not that the two of them were going to get a kill.
Excessive amounts of damage coming from those two.
He got 2 rotations of his Q off, though, so that means his stun will be charged much faster in the lane.
And it is going to be Xmithy making his way down to the red buff. He was up towards the blue side, but I was wondering. But he's on a ward. So they're going to have full vision of this one coming around. It's going to make it that much harder for his start in the jungle.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, along with Meteos' 4-0 record on Lee Sin, his KDA on that champion in particular, because he's only died one time, is 66. Overall, his KDA is 11, but 66 on Lee Sin. He's going to look to extend that a little bit in this game.
Sheep getting pretty close there, trying to equally trade damage. May have gotten a little too excited, and he takes a bit more than he wanted. His balls is going back and forth here. He does have the CS lead in the amount of waves that have come in, but he's just trying to get the auto attacks in. We see him leveling up the Q first. He helps out on balls, and then he's going to go for his W.
Yeah, not expecting any early ganks, that means, because Meteos is looking to control the enemy jungle. He's actually very, very early going in. MadCloud getting aggro.
Oh, it's going to go back. It's the flash in. He leveled up as he gets the kill. Oh, High.
Oh, my word. High always very aggressive early game on the Blanc. And now Xmithy is going to be running into a Meteos. They both have smite up.
Well, they don't have the mid laner to come over, so this cat is going to have to call Benny down, but he's stuck up there, shackled in.
Thing is, High is so low, he's a little shaky about doing this rotation. Meteos gets a lot of damage down on Smithy. Looks like he has control now.
This is exactly what they need to do against a team that is trying to gain ground with each other right from the beginning. Cloud9 going for the throw. They're doing a great job as well. That goes to Meteos. But
and this enables Cloud9's top laner Balls on Gragas to play even more aggressive, because he didn't put his dash early, he was going for more damage and trading, because they knew Meteos was going to come down. It's all a team effort when Cloud9 counter jungles like that. Just a fantastic start. And you know, a disaster for ManCloud very early on in the game, I have to say. So much of his poor season, ManCloud has been able to write off as there being an inconsistent jungler, and everyone's excuse for him has been, oh, you can't judge a mid laner without judging his jungler because people like Meteos and High or Bjergsen and Odd1 just have such great synergy together. That was all on ManCloud. Straight 1v1 at level 2. It's almost unacceptable for a pro-level player to die like that on Lulu that early in the game.
And if it were going to come down to Xmithy helping, Meteos knows to keep that mentality in his back pocket. And he's giving Xmithy a hard time, so they can't come back. Lemon Nation very low. That's going to force the flash if they want to get this. No! Sheep comes in and gets the kill for XDG.
Big plays from Sheep and Zuna right there, landing the long-range Caitlyn straight up 2v2. They were losing in CS, getting bullied a little bit. They fought back.
So still playing it strong. Know they can take a little bit of aggression. ManCloud gets to lane, looks to use the minions to his advantage and not really care about that harass.
Yeah, it was interesting how High didn't actually auto-attack because he would have aggroed about 6 creeps. He was just harassing with spells.
Good damage on the Zenith Blade. Gets a little bit of that Eclipse as well, so they back off. Zuna's happy farming right now. Sheep doing a good job of the zoning.
Yeah, Zuna a little bit low, but the creep wave is getting frozen right now. So Sneaky can't farm safely until Lemon Nation returns to the lane. And also knowing that Lemon Nation is down on summoner spells, he won't provide much zoning with Annie. But the pink ward sees Meteos. Let's see what he does.
Xmithy just placed that pink ward, so Meteos may actually be getting this on the Wraith camp and that pink ward on the way out. He's still working with XDG's blue buff right now.
Gotta be careful.
They have that timer, again pulling ManCloud out of lane. He's good though, the farm is in the middle of the lane. It looks like some damage from High here. They get onto ManCloud, and it's just harassed between the two turrets. They can't do anything.
Definitely out-damaging. The early power of Meteos right there. Also doing a bit of a unexpected move by going for the Madrid's Razor. You do not see that item often. See a couple Lee Sins do it. He may be looking for a very early Dragon take with his team, knowing that they've just cleared out the jungle with that Razor. There it is.
They put the pink ward down. They take the pink ward out. Huge moves by Meteos and High here. They are completely complementing each other in the mid, or 6 minutes into the game, not even the mid part of the game.
Yeah, so the Razor paying for itself at this moment. Not sure where he's going to go from there. Maybe even go all the way for the Wriggles for an extra ward to hop to. But obviously helps him take the Dragon down. Good item purchase, but it's because they got the harass down onto Smithy and ManCloud. And thus far, Meteos is just completely outplaying Xmithy early on in the jungle.
So, High's kill, the first blood coming in for Cloud9 was the 1v1 in mid. We had that return of a kill in the bottom lane that Sheep was able to get for himself. But we're really looking for XDG right now to be able to pick up some ground, or at least stop the bleeding that Meteos is causing.
Level 6 roam. He's going to try and knock ManCloud back in High before he hits 6.
Gets there. They hit it down. Can they get the chain down? No, he dodges it by going up. And it looks like they may have enough damage. No! Splashes into the turret. Getting a little crazy on that one.
Yes, that was an overcommit by Balls. I think since he had done the roam and landed his ultimate successfully, he thought, I can't do all those things right and still not get a kill.
Yeah.
And he ended up trading. There is more gold overall that goes to Cloud9 because they get the assist bounty as well. It's 50% of the kill gold also given to him. But giving a kill back to ManCloud when they would have been able to push him off turret regardless and just not gotten a kill, not a smart move.
Yeah, that situation, always pushing you to your limits and then some. Unfortunately, mistakes are made in those instances, and we just saw the 2-2 as the kill goes both ways. 10.6 now to 9.5, so just 1,000 gold here trickling into the pockets of Cloud9. And Benny's trying to find his way out here. Burnout coming up in just a few seconds. Meteos looking to land the cripple. Looks like he'll have it. They have good control, but Benny will be able to get out in the end. Yeah,
Benny was completely safe in that situation. Meteos was just trying to get harassed down. Honestly, nothing was going to come of that. Meteos needs to make sure he farms up and gets his levels back. He got a little lucky in the sense that he could take that free wave top. And High is continuing to punish ManCloud.
This is going to be very hard for them. They look for ManCloud to be one of those carries, someone that can get kills. 43 to 30 in CS in that mid lane, and High is just really having his way right now.
Look at that. Oh, there's the ultimate from ManCloud trying to turn, baby.
And High missed the distortion damage on that one. Still getting the ult out.
Even so, 16 CS advantage for High, knowing they have the Lulu ultimate down. They're rotating. It's going to be an attempted counter gank by Xmithy. Still a 3v2 though. Flash on ManCloud.
3 is a crowd. Smithy's there. They may just want to take him. He's level 5. A good Aegis onto balls. The ultimate is used. And Cloud9, a little bit of hesitation on the last 2 ganks there.
Yeah, they were hoping to catch ManCloud in a bit of an overcommit, and they weren't entirely sure where Pantheon was going to be, so they proceeded with caution. That was just a waiting game on both sides.
Yep.
ManCloud was waiting for the explosive cast to come out so we could flash and have it knock him in the opposite direction. Nice try as a gank. Surprisingly, Balls is not falling very far behind in CS despite his second roam down into the bot lane, still keeping up with Benny.
XDG looking to stay safe. Medio still putting pressure on the mid lane. ManCloud's making the calls. Guys, I'm still getting pressure here. May need some help. Let's play the lane safe for now and not get any farther behind.
He's hoping to reach that powerful mid game that Lulu can bring. He's going to have to get to his Athene's Unholy Grail, though, and he's very slow getting to that. If he can get to that, he can get 2 Glitter Lances off with just 1 help picks. It's a tremendous amount of harass in team fights and in lane. And they're going to need that by the time the second Dragon comes up, I think, if they want a chance in coming back in this.
Yeah, it's kind of scary when the lesser of all evils turns out to be the composition you're still looking at after bans for Cloud9. They still got LeBlanc. Medio still got Lee Sin. They banned Eve on him because they were afraid of that, but they still have a top-tier team even combining a champion select. Yeah. It's hard to win when that happens.
Yeah, XDG not out of this yet, but
no.
Surprisingly, the bottom lane has done the best of everyone on their team right now. Zuna and Sheep, despite Zuna getting all the criticism and Sheep being completely new, the fact they picked up a solo kill, whereas Benny is trading with Balls, despite Balls roaming twice, and the fact that ManCloud died 1v1 to High, just shows that this game is kind of 2 lanes winning for Cloud9, 1 for XDG.
Hopefully Zuna and Sheep can keep it going for themselves. They're keeping it even in CS, which can't really poke out a Lucian when he's going to bully you in lane, but Zuna's doing his best. He does have about 70 to 90 gold lead in that lane, so you can see that's just how close it is. High in the mid lane, still trying to harass out a level above ManCloud, just with the chains and the distortion moves, as Meteos makes himself present in the top lane.
And it's very hard to push a Lulu out of lane. She can shield so much of that damage, especially at this point in the game when he's getting that item. Attempted aggression by Sheep. Not on the same page as Zuna right here. Maybe get some counter aggression as soon as that shield wears off. They got to be careful about a turn.
It was a nice try. We did see him use the dash to get out of the Zenith Blade, but like you said, miscommunication. Sheep wanted a little bit more. Zuna was ready to just farm, still do damage to the turret. He is, for his style of play, a lot more passive than he used to be on his champions.
Item-wise in that bottom lane as well, there's a bunch more health on Sheep because he has a Sightstone completed. It's a 1,400 health Leona to a 1,000 health Annie, so like an all-in would have been a bad idea for Cloud9 there. I think that's why he was so brazen in using his ultimate, because he knew that there's a chance it would work, and if it doesn't work, it's really no harm done, because Lemon Nation wasn't turning with that little health.
It also plays in a little bit of Medio staying on the top side of the map. The early sweeper from Sheep, clearing that out nicely, so that's what they need. Meteos playing it right. So is the bottom lane for XDG.
The timing on this is completely off for XDG, though. They're taking the blue while the dragon is respawning. No one was going to be taking their blue. They're worried about it getting counter-jungled because Meteos has kind of been everywhere, so they make sure to get it right on respawn. But there's a much more important respawn happening at exactly the same time, and Cloud9's going to get this one.
One-timer is always better than the other. 2 heads are always better than 1. 17,000 gold just above. Actually, 18,000 coming in as it adds up to about 16,000. The kills, they're slow this game, but they're being equaled out. If there's 1 for Cloud9, there's 1 for XDG, which means they are keeping themselves in this game. It's going to be tough, though. Cloud9 usually takes over around that 3rd dragon, right when everybody's got to start rotating.
Cloud9 is going to have a lot of damage in the first set of team fights we see, knowing that instead of having that super tank in the top lane, they have a Gragas who's building AP and farming quite well against Benny. This would be one of those games where Benny does have a chance of carrying from top lane. If he can accumulate enough magic resistance on Shyvana, he could be that unkillable foe for XDG. But it's just a matter of getting that far. Meteos has made a few trips up there to try and slow him down, but I think he's really the main hope for XDG here, as they are falling behind. About 2,000 gold thus far.
And with Shyvana starting Blade of the Rune King, that's the kind of build you'd see?
Yeah, that's the kind of build for a lot of damage, and that's what they want to pull off since they have a Lulu mid. When you run Lulu mid, you often need to fit damage in other places where that would either be a more aggressive build out of the jungler, which Xmithy might build pure damage on Pantheon, or in the top lane. But at the same time, because he's the main tank, it's a tough decision. He really just needs a lot of gold so he can get the Blade of the Ruin King and his tank items.
Kind of the all solution for the team. He's got to keep himself going in the top lane, and really without the help of Xmithy, he has been tending to ManCloud in mid, and Meteos has been given the jungle and ManCloud hell. They're trying to get themselves into a right spot. You can see High here still putting on a little bit of pressure. Even with the vision of Xmithy, they know they can taunt in and out.
It's actually really interesting to note that despite all of Meteos' counter jungling, he has no kill participations. All the kills have really just been High and Ball. Ooh, that's a weird direction to jump.
Didn't want to finish it. Oh, the flash is flashed. Oh, but the barrel puts out the flame.
Yeah, that was an example, I think, of just the items catching him off guard. Lemonation gets gone in on.
Ooh, doesn't look like that Zuna wanted that one again either. They got pings going in. We do have Xmithy just on the backside. Could get a man drop here. He is going right onto the head of High. It's going to be a 3-man drop right onto Lemonation. They get the Aegis, and the Heart Seeker takes him down. They flatline.
Yet another bot lane turn. Xmithy does not want to stop.
Good block there. Sneaky little tuck in, and they get themselves out. There's going to be some good damage, but there's no dragon to grab here, so it's just a kill again for the kill.
Yeah, even so, another good move by the bottom lane there of XDG. They would have wanted more kills to go on to Zuna because he's a 0-0-2 Caitlyn. They need more power there. Caitlyn can work wonders against a double AP composition with no real tanks. Once she gets items, she might even be able to skip Last Whisper and just do huge amounts of crit damage to all the squishies if Zuna can get there with the items.
And this is pretty big. If High keeps roaming like that, not getting too much pressure, he's only 6 CS down for ManCloud now. That was about 30 alone earlier. We see this initiation.
Take one more look, and notice how Sheep held his ultimate until the absolute right moment. He knew that the LeBlanc was coming. He lands it perfectly on High, and the Zuna actually sticks around for a lot of harass. Pretty good timing around the board. Sheep taking just enough damage a little earlier on the barrier, but just the fact that Cloud9 fully committed because it seemed like Sheep was a killable target, only to get man dropped by Xmithy. 16 minutes into the game seems late for the first Pantheon ultimate, but based on the situations of the lane, that was the first time it was going to work, and it worked out well.
Strong moves coming from Xmithy, being in the right place at the right time, and we're now 16 minutes in. The gold lead being closed in a little bit, but you still got about 1.5. That Cloud9 is ahead. We just saw Balls get a good kill onto Benny in the top lane. Like we said, XDG is looking for Benny to be a pretty big tank this game. And so far, we usually see one of those turrets go down because of the dives in the top lane. So we'll have to see what actually comes of that lane.
Yeah, I will say Balls' Gragas has been really on point, aside from the one overdive he did mid, because not only has he roamed multiple times, he is beating up on Benny. 1v1 kill. His item build is kind of outscaling Benny at this point. He's really using his laning prowess on Gragas. So just the lane power of Gragas to overpower Shyvana.
See, once more, Meteos trying to tuck himself in the jungle. They have good wards, actually, offensive wards. They've always been warding the Wraiths down by where Xmithy is right now, passing towards his red. Looks like they may have one more in the bottom lane. Elimination is a little far out on this one.
I think we're approaching that moment where the mid-game teamfight's going to have a big sway in the game. Because there's been 2 dragons taken already, and the gold lead's only about 2,000, even less than that. The dragon is also worth more gold the later we get into the game. This next dragon will be the most powerful of all, most popular. There's the mid-game for ManCloud. He has that Athene's Unholy Grail, which is the moment you want to start teamfighting on Lulu. And Meteos as well, despite all of his early game jungle pressure, hasn't really given his team that overwhelming advantage yet. They just keep going.
ManCloud continuously using his spells, but trying to get High to punish him, but he punishes back. A very nice kill.
It's the moment in the game. High never even got off his combo. His DFG wasn't used. He just underestimated the damage of Lulu, and the timing could not be worse for that. Dragon comes up in 26 seconds. High's up in 20. He will never make it for that dragon if XDG decides to control, and that could pull the gold completely even.
It's going to be a mid-turret as well. Yeah, we're not going to have a Meteos here for this. They're more worried about the dragon, so the gold's going to help even out that, or the turret in the middle is going to help even out that gold. And we're going to see possible initiation. Sheep was in a pretty bad spot just a second ago, but it looks like he's safe now. Xmithy's going to join ManCloud in the mid lane. Cloud9 has to adapt to this.
Yeah, well, the dragon is actually being ignored right now. The roam down is a potential. If Sheep finds a good one, Xmithy could ult in. That is why the Talisman was popped.
Very early
But
Talisman.
they waited a bit too long on this Dragon. I think they have to get this down very quickly. Otherwise, Cloud9 is going to come in and collapse. Look where Balls is.
The Talisman's down, so they're not going to have that. They do have the Flash. Tibbers, no. Flash is down for elimination, just on the edge of coming up. And XDG's very good positioning. Grabs them mid and Dragon.
A lot of hesitance by Cloud9 checking these areas, too. They actually swept their own jungle on their way down, thinking that XGG would be waiting in the wings. They had lost ward control in the Dragon Pit as well, and ManCloud
just duking it out. Oh, they're gonna go in for it. Whoa! That was a hell of an amount of damage. High gets out by the sliver somehow.
Whoa. Yeah, that was the DFG burst. And remember, DFG enhances magic damage done to the target, not just LeBlanc's magic damage. That's why Balls blew up so quickly, because it was like the DFG was amping both of them, Spike.
See you later. Looking at these builds, we just saw actually Lemon use the Talisman of Ascension around 18 minutes, completely skipping the Sightstone. That was Meteos' job this time. That Talisman really helping now get them out of some deadly man drops. Smithy was able to hit that first one, so they're taking it into consideration.
Well, this game got a hell of a lot more interesting. Let's check out this kill again. High, obviously with the DFG, and he's not necessarily been respecting ManCloud's damage. He did a lot to him, but just that last little bit of burst was able to save him, and luckily, I think that was the clone that took the last hit.
No, he hit it, but it was just his first hit.
Yeah.
Got rocked in the face. It was a nice job. In and out, quick enough to be Houdini. High gets himself an assist on that one, but he already had 2 kills, so not too bad. He's got the Deathfire Grasp hooked up with his Sork Boots, and that's going to be against what now comes into a Sheen, which is going to be that Lich Bane for ManCloud. He's already got the Athene finish, so both core items are done in the mid lane. Actually, all the lanes are sitting at that pace, too. 4-4 in kills still, Jad. It's always 1 for 1.
Very interesting at this point. We still haven't seen the big team fight that could potentially turn this game around. Meteos has actually went a bit of a strange item path. Instead of completing his Wriggles, he's went all the way for the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. He actually is not allowed to complete his Wriggles anymore because you can only build 1 gold generation item. Ooh. High not landing the perfect combo on Zuna, otherwise he would have been able to take him out. Cloud9 is trying to get turret control back as well. It's something they kind of let slide with all of the roaming by Meteos. He was dealing with the jungle, but not necessarily pushing the lanes. And XDG snuck up on him with turret pressure. Once Benny takes this one, it will be all 3 outer turrets, which is a very difficult moment of control.
Flash for Sneaky, trying to draw High into this. The Culling's not going to hit too much, so he
High wants something over the wall.
1-2 on Sheep. No, he goes for Smithy to hit. The chain's going to be there. He will have the follow-up. It's going to be a nice Aegis to stop a bit of the damage. Is it there? Meteos hits a beautiful Sonic Wave to Resonating Strike. Sheep's going to go down in the end, and everybody's going to get a piece of the assist.
They catch XGG on an overcommit there, and Zuna, he's pretty far from home.
That doesn't look too good for him. Can he get to the turret fast enough? He's still going to take quite a few hits, but it's going to be at least 1 shot. Sneaky just used his blast. No! If he can get a shot on, he's got that passive movement speed. But it's up to Meteos, 90 caliber net. The minions now doing what they can. But here comes Balls once again. No. There's the boom. Where's the bang? There it is, and it's going to be for Meteos.
Surprising they actually wanted that one to go to Meteos, but it's because turret pressure's happened on the other side from XGG. They couldn't wait to rotate back up. They get a turret for that overcommit, and if we still look at the gold, despite getting 3 kills, XGG got more turret pressure off of that, which is what they've been keying off of in this mid-game.
Very good things happening for XDG, for it to happen across the map 1 at a time and just keep surmounting for them. 7-4 as Cloud9 gets a few more kills in, but that only put them over in gold by 400, which just goes to show how much of a surge XDG just had in the game. From 18 to 22 minutes, it was all XDG, and now Cloud9 trying to regroup. We have the Bloodthirster into the Zeal onto Sneaky. It's the same thing on the other side, with Zuna having a bit more damage, considering the pickaxe.
And honestly, Riv, no matter what happens in the rest of this game, because things could swing in either direction right now since it's so close, the fact that 23 minutes into this game, XDG is even with Cloud9 is incredibly impressive. The fact that Xmithy played the entire season on AD carry, just switched to jungle. The fact that Zuna had went from jungle to support to AD in 3 subsequent weeks, and now his lane, with a guy they just picked up, was beating Sneaky and Lemonation, who have been together for over a year and have been top of the LCS, is an absurd concept right now. Maybe this role swap back has worked for XDG. Let's keep seeing this game unfold.
We have to see how the fights work. So far, the laning phase has gone well. We'll see if this is where Cloud9 can get under the skin of XDG. A quick kick back. The 1-2-3. They are going to get Smithy, who on XDG thinks it's not enough. It's going to be ManCloud going down, and this is exactly what Cloud9 wanted. XDG stops the fight for now.
This is where Cloud9 excels in most games. It's in the team fight phase. Their pick composition is now roaming around and trying to get catches, and this is also the danger that XDG runs when they role swap so frequently. Sure, they can role swap. People are back in their natural positions and they feel more comfortable in lane.
Right.
But as far as team play goes, that is the stuff that takes more time. Now with 2 dead, Cloud9 is forcing Baron, and this is incredibly difficult for XDG to contest.
Really putting the stranglehold on XDG here. High does have that blue buff, so he's going to be able to kick the damage out quite fast.
They
30
need to stall
seconds
for
onto
Smithy.
Dragon.
He needs to get in range.
Sheep and Benny going to do what they can. They put up their dukes and they dive into the fight. Sheep's going to be one, but they get a kill actually. High goes down instantly. The man drop's coming in. Smithy's in range. Lemon Nation goes down. Balls will surely fall in the fight, and it's going to be a turnaround from XDG. Sneaky might want in the fight, but they're going to have to back off.
XDG engaged that fight basically 2v5 at that point, but because Benny and Sheep were so decisive, they caught High. At that point, they could stall long enough for Xmithy. Nothing went right for Cloud9 there, and instead of taking a dangerous Baron, they're going to go for Dragon. But just watch this. Benny and Sheep just go, and Balls did not help peel off, and he didn't finish Zuna off either, which was really critical in this fight. It meant Balls got trapped once Xmithy came in. Cloud9 for once didn't stay together and on the same page in a team fight. And it was actually the new guy with Benny for XDG that ended up swinging that one.
No doubt that XDG looks much more comfortable in this skin with everybody back in a memorable position. Zuna playing very well in the game. 219 farm, almost the highest CS right now to Balls, who is actually 234. But in that lane, he went 1-1-2, and this is when we think Zuna, or not think, but know Zuna to be that big carry, the late game, where he starts making the impact plays.
And watch to see how much magic resist XGG can accumulate. Zuna's going to want to get a Banshee's Veil sooner rather than later on Caitlyn, because the potential for him getting one shot is very high. I like to think of 80 carries in a way of how many defensive items do you need to not get instantly killed by someone. And once you meet that threshold, you build straight damage. If there's no one that can pick you off, I'd like to see 80 carries build 5 full-on damage items. There's actually a game in the NACL, a Curse Academy player, Altec, I believe, or it might be Cloud9 player, I'm messing this up, but he built 5 offensive items and wrecked the game because no one could reach him. In this game for Zuna, everybody can reach him.
Yeah.
So he needs to finish his Banshee's Veil as soon as possible.
It's going to be a dangerous thing. Cloud9 knows exactly what they need to do in fights with the rare occasion of an error. So Cloud9 needs to play this one, or I mean XDG rather, needs to play this one quite perfectly from here on out. They have the lead. It's something they gained back in the middle of the game, which is not something we usually see them see. And now 4-3 in turrets. They're opening up the map a little bit more. But hopefully they can pressure out Cloud9 here, because it looks like Cloud9 is still in control.
So far, XGG is 1-0 in Baron fights. Cloud9 tried to force around the Baron, and it was unsuccessful. But they have a lot of ward control right now, and a lot of potential to pick people off. Only one bad thing has to happen. But there we go, Talisman popped for no reward. More breathing room for XGG.
Sneaky taking the ace in the hole, so there's at least an ultimate down. It's Sheep and Benny that have really been the frontline initiators. Once the chaos starts, we've seen Xmithy coming in. I don't know if Sheep really wants to be the one to go in now with that help. Yeah,
that's the vision control taking over for Cloud9 there. They were trying to get some back, and Sheep is now a little bit too low to engage. Something like that happens again, I think Cloud9 could get full control. They absolutely have the upper hand here because they know Sheep has to go back and heal.
Sheep has to go back and heal. Unfortunately, the Deathfire grasp is down. I'm sure XDG would want to get into a fight with that power being away from High, but for now they're going to go ahead, clean up some buffs, clean up the rest of their camps on the top side of the map. Hovering around that blue, it was a focus for Cloud9 in the beginning, but it didn't seem like anything they wanted after, and Cloud9 has gone about just trying to win the lanes, continuously trying to take control of this Baron.
With that monstrous wave in the bottom lane, XGG had to send someone down, otherwise it would have pushed all the way to the inhibitor, but now they're forced into that Baron situation once again.
Talisman of Ascension back on his Sheep. That is going to be a dead Sheep. The drop's coming in. There it is. The chaos of the fight starts, and it's only Meteos to take a big hit. He kicks it out, kicks out of the fight. Very nice job on the ManCloud, so he can't get the damage down. Very low health for Meteos and Lemonation. Sneaky's on the cusp of dying as well. Zuna comes up with a nice ace in the hole, and they are forced to get out of this fight once again.
You can really see how Cloud9 is all about pick potential, because that was basically a long 3v5. And they still traded the fight because they didn't close on enough priority targets. If XDG positions properly and doesn't get picked off, they have a very real chance of closing this game out.
It would definitely be the momentum they would need. Many teams that have taken Cloud9 have gotten themselves a little streak after that victory. And like we said, this was the premier matchup of our splits last year. The teams against each other in the head-to-head went 2-2. Right now, Cloud9 versus XDG is 2 games in favor of Cloud9. So if XDG were to make a comeback on that record, the halfway point is right now.
Yeah, if they win this, they have a 3-3, or would it be 3-3 or 3-4 all-time record against Cloud9? One of those two. This has not been a good split so far for XDG, but this is the moment they want to turn it around. I'm actually very surprised of Benny's last item purchase. I disagree with it. He just built a Warden's Mail to basically only deal with Sneaky's damage.
Yeah.
I would have much preferred that he built a Giant's Belt, despite him having very low armor, because it would mean he can effectively ignore balls on high. He was basically 1v4ing last fight without the armor, and I think more health would have added to that. Mainly just, it's a sign of the Banshee's Veil being just the ultimate item right now for these guys. When Xsmithy finishes Banshee's Veil and Zuna finishes his Banshee's Veil, teamfights are going to be immensely difficult for Cloud9.
Also something we were talking about, the focus that Cloud9 has.
Oh, Meteos should have helped him out with that.
Getting around Banshee's Veils probably isn't a hard thing on the to-do list. And right now it's only Benny, Zuna, quite far away at this point. He does have only 380 gold in his pocket, so he's got a ways to go. We're 30 minutes into the game, and as much as teams hate Baron, they have been giving it a lot of love this game.
It's one of the ways for forcing picks and controlling vision.
Yep.
Cloud9 has been spending a lot of time around that, and XDG has fought back. Good dodge of damage there by Zuna. The DFG is down. That means it's time to engage.
Man drop coming into the half. Meteos, the Zenith Blade misses, but Lemonation trips over his shoelaces, and they're able to pick him up. Can Cloud9 retaliate on the fight? Ball's right into the middle there. The cast is down on the fight. High comes in, goes for Zuna, but they're trading, actually not focusing the damage onto one person, but it's all right because the follow-up damage is more than enough. The backside, Sneaky's able to take down Xsmithy in a 1v1 after the fight disperses, and Benny's going to be chased down here. He should be able to get out, but a 4-for-2 in favor of Cloud9.
What a disaster for XDG. They committed so hard to get that first kill onto a support that they exposed their backline. Watch this. Specifically, ManCloud committed too hard to helping Xsmithy close this one. He used his ultimate on Smithy as he walked into Gragas. He was just blown up at that point in the fight, could not save himself, and now the Baron is the biggest point of contention.
Back and forth, Sneaky not in too good of a spot here. They're going to be taking quite a bit of damage. Balls is very low, Meteos as well. Getting the shield, safeguard back on. You only have Benny on the outside. Dragon's Rage not up for that to even be a chance.
Very critical Baron take by Cloud9 there. There was really nothing Benny could have done to stop that. No Dragon form up because his Rage bar had not filled to the brim quite yet. And another objective is controlled by Meteos. The fact that they can parlay that with the Dragon means the gold swings right back. All that work that XDG had done to get their gold lead in check is now gone because they gave away about 3,000 gold in the last few minutes.
Huge credit to XDG here. Gonna have to keep saying it in the game as long as they keep playing like this. Zuna back on 80 carry, surpassing Sneaky really in the, not in the laning phase so much, but just overall, 281 to 238. Yeah,
overall
you're gonna be 2-0-7 when the majority of your team is getting kills, but he's been playing very well.
Yeah, Sneaky has gotten a lot of items in the last little bit though.
Right.
He had a very good last fight. Not getting locked down.
Picks up more damage.
Avoiding the dive. All the dive from Xsmithy happened on Lemonation basically, and Sneaky was okay with it. And remember how we mentioned how 80 carries should pretty much just continue to build damage until they can't get one shot. Well, he can't get one shot by anyone right now. Xsmithy hasn't built enough damage to drop down on him. Benny's just played with Rune King Shyvana. You know, Lulu's a damage over time support who he can escape from. Sneaky should just continue to build damage items. Infinity Edge will be next. Maybe even another damage item after that.
Zuna with the red. Looks like they're just trying to get everything in place and get those priorities straightened out before this next engagement. Cloud9, as they do, slight little leads grabbed here and there. It's got them about 1.8 thousand gold now. 15 to 10 is the score, but XDG has been sitting at 4 turrets to Cloud9's 3 for a while. These teams have kind of just been butting heads with no result.
Yeah, it's very difficult for Cloud9 to actually turret dive unless they get a substantial amount of damage down early. That's the early damage.
Well, the front end damage is going to be good enough on that one. Going to Zuna all the way, kicks him, but he gets the hit. Oh, Zuna could get out of this. He's kiting the fight. The shield comes out from Lulu. He gets himself out alive with that lifesteal, and it looks like Cloud9's forced to back off of this one again.
Wow, they do get the turret, but no kills. That just goes to show you the late game power of an AP Lulu shielding the crap out of Zuna and keeping him alive right there.
He's trying to get that Banshee's Veil up as quick as possible. Like we said, that gold slowly going in favor of Cloud9 as they get a little bit more of a lead with that tier 2 turret. As we see, they don't care if there's a turret there. They're going to come around from the sides when they engage.
Yeah, this was just a great start for a dive, but a bad finish. The shielding that could happen on Zuna is 740 just from the Lulu ultimate once she's level 16, and then even more from the health picks. You can just see Zuna was basically dead, and Cloud9 nearly overcommitted for that one. Not getting too much progress, and the potential for a counter is there.
Ooh.
Burning the ultimate is massive for Cloud9 there. High did the bait and switch, he distortioned in. ManCloud had to respect the burst. And now they're going to have to be on retreat. That super shield is no longer available.
Talismans, quick, get in the base. They're on our tail. 35 minutes in here. Sheep trying to keep the team safe, keeping the herd right in range. 15 to 10. They're not doing too bad.
Xmithy messed up. He got 2 Spectre's Cals. That's a mistake.
Oh.
He has not finished his Banshee's Veil.
Maybe he just likes hoodies.
He double-clicked once. Oh dear. Dress code violation.
Dress code violation. We got Lemonation, too many food groups, Smithy with too much apparel. It'll be reason.
That's actually really bad. Like, the fact that the game is this close and they're wasting gold on extra items. Obviously, the magic resistant health still counts, but he loses out on the unique passive. And he doesn't get his Banshee's Veil when he needs it, which is the most important thing.
Maybe ran off of the base with home guards and then recognized that once you leave that buy area, you're not going to be able to resell. See, coming out. Looks like Benny.
They didn't get hit very hard.
They got the traps down. Zuna's helping them keep safe. Sheep is as well. And this standoff is going to happen for quite some time here. They're not going to really be able to be calling any split pushing to happen.
They're going to be trying to get all these outer turrets down before the Baron comes out, not the hard dives. The fact that Cloud9 can come around from the side on this turret potentially, or just a hard initiation. Good lord.
Hey-o, right on top of the team. Let's see what they can open up on this one. Lemonation getting very low. It's Benny and Sheep on the backside here. Deja Vu. These guys are working as a buddy system, but that's big damage from balls on the side. Cloud9 really working the fog of war to get an advantage here.
Just a big, powerful initiation again, catching Cloud9 out of position, not letting Cloud9 wear them down here. And totally unexpected, I think, for Cloud9. XDG, good call for them to go in right at that moment.
This isn't something we've seen from XDG very often. The communication is spot on right now. Sheep may have had a few mishaps in the early part of the game, but they cleaned that up. For 2 or 3 mistakes that we saw that were pretty big, they kept that lane in their favor. So they're doing a very good job at keeping a set mind to get this game won.
And I believe this game is going to continue to be back and forth, just because the way the team compositions match up, it is very pick-oriented, and there's a lot of very critical things that can swing fights. For instance, if higher balls can assassinate ManCloud before he gets the right spells off, the fight is basically over immediately. But if, say Balls misses some of his skill shots on Gragas, he's got about, how much ability power is that? About 600 ability power? 562. He misses some of those skill shots. He is a non-factor in team fights. They don't have a tank. They would lose it straight off of that. In full 5v5 engagements that are controlled, XGG wins. But the vision control is in the side of Cloud9, and it can be extremely back and forth. Even if Cloud9 wins a fight smally, the next fight could still turn around because XGG is stronger in those straight-up engagements.
Looks like Smithy finally did get that Banshee's Veil up. Have them sitting around the team now so they can play a little bit more dangerous.
You can see the importance of the Banshee's Veils. Xmithy sold his double cowl so he could get enough gold to get that Banshee's. It's going to cost him a little bit of gold. You do not get good value when you sell back to the shop.
See what High can do on LeBlanc for the rest of this game. This may actually be one of the longest LeBlanc games we've had. Definitely have to check out that stat because they're usually very definitive, quick, but LeBlanc has some of the highest kills. Cloud9, or XDG rather, has found a way to stave off that assassin damage. Really start, like you said, once the Banshee's Veil started coming out, this is going to be a real hard game for Cloud9. They've kind of gone a little outside the box from where they wanted to be.
And those ace in the holes are very strong. High's not a part of this fight. Meteo's getting caught out.
There's Sheep and Benny again. They say, yeah, buddy, let's do it. Lemon Nation gets hit up quite hard. The Wild Growth is beautiful onto Benny, and the Dragon's going to be protecting the entire team. XDG Sheep on the backside keeps himself alive. Gets some good health there, and it looks like High's going to get the kill. Back and forth, it's going 3 for 2 now. Benny is very low in the fight. They're still chasing out of the balls. The Zenith Braid from the top side of the Fog of War. High from the back. They're so low on both of them. The sliver of health as they limp away from the fight.
But now where does XGG go? They know they have 2 people on no health, and they still have 3 alive for themselves. They're going to continue to chase. Can they find him? It's hide and go seek.
High does have a distortion over the wall. They might, no, don't do that! Just got hit. That's 2 coming in for Smithy because of the vision.
Oh my God, I don't even think you would have found him at the end of that fight. But the team fight itself, because High was chunked down low, it means a safe initiation for XGG. Watch how Benny is basically just a monster that cannot be dealt with. Zuna doesn't get bursted out because of that Banshee's Veil, and they're just in a fairly controlled team fight at that point. They get to control their initiation. Even though ManCloud was done instantly by High, the rest of the fight was so much stronger for XGG that they could just control it throughout. Now they're going to 3-man that Baron because of the controlled ace they were able to get afterwards. This little play at the end, I feel like they would have gotten away. They looped around, and they're just like, maybe we should go in for a fight. Turns out, you know, Smithy knows how to attack people to jump into his face. He just hit him, and then he saw him afterwards. Oh my God, he felt good after that one. That'll make up for getting 2 Spectre's cows.
Found a way to get all the money back. We'll see where they can go from here. Things are pretty much going in their favor now. XDG, not to take anything away from the rest of the team, but this is like the Benny and Sheep initiation show now that have been going on for the past 10 minutes.
Sheep is really on point. Man, if you're an XDG fan right now, you're saying, why did it take until week 7 to put Smithy back in the jungle and Zuna back on 80 carry? Because both these guys are working quite well. Zuna 326 CS, Smithy 7-3, despite getting heavily counter jungled early. By Meteos.
7-3 and 3, absolutely ridiculous. We thought he would really get a harass and hazing by Meteos from being back in the jungle, but has come back up very strong. Zuna 2-3-7, but 326 for himself. He has taken the highest CS lead in the game, and he's doing what he can with the rest of the team. I think back to the roots was what they absolutely needed. You can see it's comfortable for them in just quality of life and quality of play.
And Benny's made it to the point he needs to be as well. 225 Mad Inquisitions on Shyvana to go along with 3,700 health.
And you know what's funny too is we did see Xmithy hovering around ManCloud more. Who are the 2 that took the mid turrets, first and second tier, when stuff was happening bottom lane? Xmithy was there, complementing and synergizing with ManCloud. That kind of buddy system is also back, so XDG has a lot to work with now. Good to have these things back for them.
ManCloud also picked up that Negatron cloak, which is going to be pretty critical. Anytime he wants to use his wild growth on someone else, it's open season for High to assassinate him. If that becomes a thing that can't happen, the team fights would be even more one-sided. Cloud9 really having to play off their back foot here. XDG just pushing through turrets freely with that Baron buff.
Very hard turret to save, especially at how low it was, and XDG is really putting their foot down now as they push Cloud9 back to their base, getting a little taste of their own medicine. We were just on the other side of the map a few minutes ago.
Cloud9 had a problem early on in the season. That first Dignitas loss, they said, you know, maybe they need to go into every game, taking every team 100% seriously. And you do have to question with that TSM matchup coming up tomorrow, how much they were looking past this game, you know? Balls bringing out Gragas. He had never played Gragas before in LCS play. Shyvana, Renekton, his most played, decided against that. He's played pretty well on Gragas, honestly. It's not been his fault, but it's a different team comp. It's a different style. that Cloud9 has to play.
When Fnatic went for their first LB top, that game was against Alliance, against the last place team in the league, and they were not able to make the LeBlanc top. They were not able to make the composition work. Not to say that they did it because they thought that was the team to try it against, but it's anybody's day, anybody's game. You can't be laying back at any time.
You can see Meteos actually sold his Madrid's Razor and opting for more tank items. He used it for early dragon control, but then he kind of ran out of steam at that point. Dragon's coming back up again. XDG, I don't think they're going to do too much more with this Baron buff. There's a very good chance this next dragon fight could be huge. Cloud9 still trying to play with vision, but they are rightfully fearful of XDG. 3 Banshees Vels. There will be 4 soon when ManCloud can get enough gold to finish his. Really just doing wonders against this double AP composition with a Lucian, who's obviously built a lot of damage, no doubt on Sneaky, but it just doesn't seem to be enough to slice through what XDG is bringing at him.
Cloud9's all about being kind of in and then quick out so they can do it again, but with XDG just being in your face, Sheep and Benny with that burnout on, and Sheep just trying to peel and do what he can. Cloud9 doesn't have a chance for the first round of spells to get out alive right now. That's why it's so scared in these fights. But only 1,000 gold up or so on XDG's side. They're going to go ahead, grab that dragon. They're going to split that gold a little bit more. They've been pretty lax, though, when they get Cloud9 up to their base. Exactly.
It's this weird situation, I think, for Cloud9, where in team fights, they're actually going to want Sneaky to try and break as many Banshees Vels as possible. You know, Lucian has a lot of fairly long-range, low-impact poke that he can throw out and get some down. If they get enough Banshees Vels down, you would consider it a big initiation from Cloud9. That's something they actually haven't tried yet. If they could Tibbers and Gragas combo some of these guys on XDG, they might come out on top. But what's been happening is XDG has actually been engaging properly on them. Benny is getting in where he wants to. Just picked up another Giants belt. He becomes even more unkillable. They have to find a way to get their damage through Shyvana so that when they're in the team fights, it's just Shyvana they're dealing with, not a whole team with Shyvana in front.
Yeah, a Shyvana and a Sheep right behind them.
Yeah.
We'll see what they can get in this initiation. We're coming up on 46 minutes in the game. Baron has a minute and a half before he puts himself back in his den. Looks like Meteos is going to back and get himself a few more items. Everybody's got really great kill participation coming into this game.
It's been a lot of team fights. It was the slow early game at 2-2, and you see much higher kill participation in games that develop later because all of the kills are from team fights.
Those late bloomers.
Yeah.
See what they can get as the game goes on. Turrets are still falling very slowly from what we usually see. It's either a turret bash with not a lot of kills or a lot of kills and the turrets stay up for a while. And that's what we're getting right now. Cloud9, really the second place right now, I should say, not second team in the league. Not having too good of a day versus XDG. May have got themselves flustered, like we said, looking past this game, weren't as prepared as they thought. Kind of could be hitting against them now.
Death timers are also reaching their maximum duration. Your death timer is based on your level and the time of game up until 50 minutes. So the fact that everyone is level 18 in this game, except for Sheep, who's sitting at 17 right now, and Levitation, who's sitting at 16, and the fact we're 4 minutes away from 50, we're going to have 75-second death timers coming in very soon. Meaning, if there's a substantial fight, it could very well be the game. Sure, we don't have inhibitor turrets down, but if one team wins a fight cleanly, game is over.
These are some of my favorite games to watch because once you do get those full item builds, each player is being pushed to their limit, trying to play at their best capacity. And it's going to have to be the best here. First mistake means pretty much the end of the game now, and it just gets that much more scary.
And XDG has kind of lost ward control in the Baron Pit, which is pretty bad considering it's up in 10 seconds. They're going to try and brute force their way in here, but they do not necessarily see them. As long as Benny's leading, though, it's somewhat safe.
That could have been extremely bad for XDG. They were able to get a quick glimpse of Meteos and crew as they were going towards that first Dragon Brush. You usually see Pink warded. Baron is alive right now, and we see Cloud9 is completely working.
Cloud is pushing mid all by his lonesome.
Yeah, the cat and mouse strat here for Cloud9. Looks like ManCloud's going to go ahead and whimsy his way out.
Yeah, he's pretty quick now. With 400 AP. The move speed he's gripping is 73% from that W.
And it's not bad for him to be pushing that lane either if he can get hits on the turret. He does have a Lich Bane, so he'll get a few good knocks on it. Won't be huge damage, but it will definitely help the team, and will have to be react to here for Cloud9. They're outside the base. They could get a good pinch here, but they lose an inhibitor.
This could be a force. They're down a turret. They're going to continue to go on the inhibitor. They're daring Cloud9 to go in. The Banshees might get popped. Here's the fight.
Oh, they go on to Sneaky. He gets a good cleanse on that from the Kales, but he's out of this one. Balls is going down very low. He is the only one right now. Sheep's the only one low, which means the health bars and damage dealers are going to be crazy for XDG. Going into the base might be a little too deep for XDG. They chased the clone out a little too much on this one, but they are going to be able to come out on top. Bleeding red. You can see Cloud9 blinking.
Yeah, how much is XDG going to get out of that? ManCloud trying to chase the Blanc. That usually doesn't end well, but the inhibitor goes to XDG. What a move. Hi. You're chasing the Blanc.
He's still going. Oh, he said, did
fast.
you go back? That was actually a nice move. He glitter lands the last distortion to see if he tricked him out.
Farm a little on the way, maybe? Yep.
Whoa, that's some good gold. It's always
pretty
a good
quick,
feeling.
though.
Oh, he got the glitter lance. He gets it. Coast to coast from ManCloud.
And that is huge right now. XDG might peel again. Big fight.
Benny's getting hit up with the Lucian ult, and the culling's not going to be enough, though. Meteos is taking huge damage. Zuna is shredding from the backside now with the Infinity Edge on Caitlyn, and the rest of the team's able to do easy peel.
This could be it.
Aegis is on. Dragons descend as they take down Lemon Nation, and XDG could make this quick win here in the next few minutes.
I think they could have ended the game here, Rib. There were 60-second death timers on 3 people, but they're going for Baron instead. Anyway, this last fight from XDG was monstrous. They get the catch onto Sneaky, and then Sheep locks down balls, which is so critical right there. Remember, no matter how strong you get on Gragas, if you're not landing your skill shots ideally, you are useless in fights. Benny sits in all of them, gets a Randwoods on 3, and at that point, Cloud9 just has to scatter. They do not have the team fight potency that XDG does, and it's becoming more and more evident the later this game progresses. They have not been able to get their picks, and Benny has become a monster.
It's amazing what putting people back in a position of feeling good, back to their roots, what will do for the entire team as a whole. This is absolute awesome player from everybody on XDG this game. They're really coming together as a whole. Not something we've seen before.
Sheep has been such a great addition early on. His Leona has been so on point this game. I think XDG could have ended the game before, but they're going in now.
They say they can end it now. That's a man drop on the inhibitor. Looks like they're going to get some good damage here. They take down the second one of the game. Cannot even get a response from Cloud9 on that.
Yeah, this could be inhibitor number 2. There is a split pushing Sneaky down in the bottom lane. How much is XDG going to let him go, and how much are they going to try and brute force into the base? 5v4.
Yeah.
Cloud9 has to be very careful not to get counter engaged on, knowing they have no AD carry here.
He indeed is sneaky, but that split push not so much. Looks like XDG will have ManCloud to go back for this one. He could get actually an inhibitor turret out of this one.
Yeah.
No, he's a little too afraid. Sees that back, doesn't want to deal with any home guarded Lulu Whimsy in.
Interesting move there. Cloud9 just trying to ward off their inevitable demise in this game, it seems. Trying to split push as much as possible. Sneaky should have went back before. Oh god, there's no vision on either side. Don't do the dragon!
Da-dun,
Oh
da-dun.
no.
There's going to be another chase though.
Yeah,
they get the inhibitors to come back up. It's going to help. Whoa, ManCloud coming on the side. Sneaky going down like a man. He just turns around and pulls out the guns.
Now once again, XDG should push straight up the mid lane, screw the dragon, get these turrets down because the monster death timer on Sneaky.
Let's see what moves they can make. Zuna's coming up on the backside here. He's pulling up the caboose. Lots of smiles on the side of XDG here, but they cannot get complacent. Cloud9 is not a team to go easy on.
Imagine the vindication XDG could feel after this one. 50 minutes in, 3-11 on the season, after being a team that was second place in the regular season. Went to Worlds, had a good showing. Now, Smithy back in the jungle, Zuna back on AD carry, positioned to beat Cloud9. North American powerhouses right now. Sneaky down, 5v4 push into the base, trying to get inhibitor number 3.
Doesn't look like they can do much about it. Oh, they bring Sheep in a little bit more. Where's the rest of the herd, though? They're trying to come in behind him. There's Benny. Sheep is somehow still alive. That's one hell of a coat he's wearing. It's going to be the Nexus turrets going down. 53 minutes into the game, XDG takes down Cloud9.
What a game by XDG. 22 kills to 18, 52 minutes. They take him down. Crowd is saying Sheep's name so many times during that game. Hugs come up from ManCloud. Nice LCS debut, one can say. Return to AD carry from Zuna. Return to jungle for Smithy. High fives all around. They deserve it.
It's what they've been waiting to prove and show everybody this season. It's been a talk spring split for XDG. Coming in this one with all the changes is usually the hype a team can use in the mentality in their game and every aspect of what happens in League of Legends, but it was really going back to the core
Yeah.
Back to the real XDG.
Back to basics for them. As far as Cloud9 is concerned, 4th loss of the season, more than they had in the summer split of 2013. There's XDG walking back across the stage. Gotta feel good.
And it's good to see Sheep getting love. He deserves it that game. Him and Benny had some amazing initiations. We saw some of the hashtag LCSs saying, what